in 2010 and London in 2012. The Olympic legacy continues on NBC.
Today on the NHL on NBC, the Penguins and rookie sensation Sidney Crosby take on the Philadelphia Flyers. The game on his stick! Scores! And some of you will see a rivalry renewed. The Detroit Red Wings facing off in Colorado against the Avalanche. It's the NHL on NBC.
Welcome to the ADT Security NBC Sports Update. Here's your host, Bill Clement.
And from our studio here at the rink at 30 Rock in New York, we welcome you to the NHL on NBC. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Clement, along with former NHLer Ray Ferraro. Today, one of the games, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. That means we get to see Sidney Crosby. And even as a teenager, Sidney Crosby, Ray, seems as if he's figured out how to survive in a hostile environment.
And he'll have to do so this afternoon. The Flyers come in losers of 5 of their last 6 games. And for Sidney Crosby, he has been challenged before. Earlier in the year, Darian Hatcher wants to make a point with Crosby. He batters Crosby around the ice, ends up chipping one of Crosby's teeth. Crosby gets up, gets repairs, and later in the game puts the game away in overtime for the Penguins. For the Penguins, a team looking for an identity. I want to see how they compete physically against the Flyers this afternoon.
Peter Forsberg will not be in the lineup today for the Flyers. He is out with a groin injury, but yesterday the Flyers acquired Peter Nedved from the Phoenix Coyotes to give them some depth down the middle. Nedved will be in the lineup for the Flyers today. Last night in the NHL, a couple of games to get you caught up on. One in Columbus, St. Louis Blues in town. It went to a shootout. Big number 61 of the Blue Jackets, Rick Nash, took care of business.
Well, Rick Nash said he saw Jussi Jokinen score this goal on NBC last Saturday against the Boston Bruins. Same move, same result. Columbus wins.
And the defending champs, the Tampa Bay Lightning, were on the road in Dallas taking on the Stars, and the Lightning looked like champs.
They certainly did last night, but it's been a tough year for Brad Richards. That's goal 14. Marty Turco, 4 goals against on 6 shots, gets the hook again.
The end of the first period, Eddie Olczyk, who coached Sidney Crosby until December, will join us. Until then, enjoy your hockey, folks.
This has been the ADT Security NBC Sports Update. ADT Security Services, the world leader in home and business security. NBC Monday, the one night where anything can happen, and it usually does. Starting with the hottest destination, an all-new Las Vegas, where you can do anything, but they'll be watching.
Just one again.
Then it's the show critics call insanely good.
He's trying to tell me something.
Emmy Award winner Patricia Arquette in an all-new medium. It's an all-new Monday on NBC.
Didn't check the weather? Check into NBC5's Weather Plus network on NBC5 News for accurate conditions from a weather team who knows Chicagoland's changing weather. NBC5's Weather Plus network of digital monitoring stations throughout Chicagoland and across the country give you accurate conditions from a weather team who knows our changing weather. So before you head out, check into Chicago's home for weather. NBC5's Weather Plus on NBC5 News. Sponsored by Feldco, Chicago's replacement specialists.
Oh, I am so glad we finally all got together.
Yeah.
But before we get started with dinner, we have a super business opportunity we'd like to share with you. Cleaning products.
Want to get away? Now you can. With Southwest Airlines Internet specials, you can fly from Chicago Midway to Long Island Islip for just $39 one way. Purchased by February 13th.
You are now free to move about the country.
Tonight, Peter Sarsgaard, The Strokes, and all new Saturday Night Live.
Today in Denver, the Avalanche, winners of 8 of their last 9 games, renew one of the NHL's premier rivalries as they host the Red Wings, the top team in the Western Conference. Detroit and Colorado have provided legendary battles, memorable playoff moments, and have combined to win 5 Stanley Cups in the past 10 years, crowning glory for legendary captains Joe Sakic and Steve Yzerman. Now the old regime has been bolstered by some of the brightest emerging stars in the game for 2 of the most potent offenses in the NHL. A supercharged matchup between 2 of the NHL's elite teams and the league showcase rivalry. It's the NHL on NBC. It's always a playoff atmosphere when Detroit beats Colorado. Today, it's a high noon showdown. from Denver. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NHL on NBC. Chris Cuthbert along with Peter McNabb. Beyond the hostility, it's always been a matchup of great players led by the captains.
In the past decade, this has been the NHL's best rivalry. One or the other has won the Stanley Cup 5 times. Steve Yzerman, Joe Sakic, the best leaders in the game today. The reason why these clubs have been so successful for so long.
But the face of the rivalry is changing, and there's a lot of young players anxious to make their mark.
You got two guys today that are really going to be the face of their clubs as we get into the next couple of years. You got Alex Tanguay, 55 points. He is red hot right now for the Colorado Avalanche. Pavel Datsyuk, the leading scorer for the Detroit Red Wings, maybe the most dynamic in the player in the game today.
Those are the two top scorers in the Western Conference. Now, with more on the rivalry, let's head inside the glass and join Olympian Cami Granato.
Well, Rob, you guys have put together a pretty good run here, winning 8 of the last 9. What's been the difference?
Well, I think the way we played in our own zone, we're getting guys back 5 at a time. We're going hard to the puck, and we're not creating turnovers.
What's it going to take to beat Detroit, the #1 team in the West?
Well, they're one team that challenges it with the puck. They like to regroup and everything. We have to have real strong grab fire defensemen, keep the play in front of us.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Cami. Today it's a showcase of two great teams led by blue-chip defenseman Rob Blake of Colorado and 3-time Norris Trophy winner Nick Lidstrom. Detroit and Colorado are next.
Lately. Introducing new Triple Threat. It fuels like a power bar and tastes like a candy bar.
Taste, energy, nutrition.
One bite and you'll feel like you can take on anything. Power bar. Be great.
This was my prom. My spring break. Road trip with friends. Summer camp. Semester abroad. Thanksgiving. What do you call a life dedicated to hockey? I'd call it time well spent.
Instead of being in a place like this, call 800-SPRINT-1 today. Sprint, yes you can.
Drink Coke, live Olympic.
The Americans win the gold medal!
Drink, watch, cheer, win. Find out how you can win great prizes and share in the victory at Olympics.coke.com and watch the Olympic Winter Games only on the networks of NBC.
The NHL on NBC is brought to you by Sprint, official wireless provider of the NHL. By Power Bar Triple Threat, it fuels like a power bar, tastes like a candy bar. By refreshingly smooth Bud Light, always worth it. And by Reebok, I am what I am. Red Wings lead the Central Division and the Western Conference. The Avalanche 2 points off the lead in the Northwest as we meet the goaltenders. And there's Manny Legace, who has the best goals against average of any NHL goaltender on the road this year.
Manny Legace in goal today for the Detroit Red Wings. The Detroit Red Wings 5th in the NHL in goals against average. His partner, Chris Osgood, have been solid in front of a very good Detroit club. At the other end, you got David Abisher, who has lost 1 in the month of January. He is 7-1, turned around what was a very tough December and has become the #1 guy again for the Colorado Avalanche. Mike Babcock told us yesterday Zetterberg out is not a problem. It's a positive because he gets to see how his club is going to react to a different sort of situation, an adverse situation. Joe Quenneville told us again yesterday that Detroit is the best puck control club in the league. They're going to have to be smart, and the Avalanche are going to have to play almost a perfect game.
Joe Sakic starts at center with Andrew Brunette and Milan Hajduk for Colorado. And that means Chris Draper will be out on the ice as a winger with Pavel Datsyuk and Brendan Shanahan. So Draper deployed as a checking forward in all situations, but on the road we see Mike Babcock use him on the wing.
But I think the big thing here is Joe Quenneville went right at him. They had Lidstrom and Draper both out there. That's who Babcock, you would think, would want to have out there against Sakic. Joe Quenneville said, let's not fool around. Let's see how good our club is going to play.
Nick Lidstrom on the ice for the Red Wings is Datsuk, who is tied with Alex Tanguay for the lead. The lead in the Western Conference in scoring is on the ice. Here's Draper playing it in front. Datsuk scores! Just like that, 49 seconds in, and the Red Wings draw first blood.
Well, we talked about Datsuk and his value to this Detroit Red Wing hockey club. Datsuk is that kind of player. This is a late round draft pick. He was picked 171st in the NHL draft in 98, and what he brings to this club is absolutely enormous. He has great skills. He's hard to find, and he has become quietly the leader of this hockey club. Great passing down low by the Red Wings, but somebody did not find Datsuk coming through the middle.
19th goal of the year for Pavel Datsuk. And the Red Wings break the ice. Colorado has been the best first period team in the National Hockey League this year with 67 first period goals, but the Red Wings get on them quickly. There's Jason Woolley out of Michigan Tech playing it deep.
And now it is time for the Avalanche to respond.
Matthew Schneider, a shot. Jason Williams right at the side of the net with a great opportunity. So the Red Wings buzzing. You sense that the Red Wings really had a lot of jump in the warm-up. That's not always a good barometer, but it seems to be here.
Coaches hate trying to judge their hockey club on warm-up, but you could just see Detroit got into it early. It is a strange hockey time to play a game.
The Avalanche answer quickly.
We're getting a taste of why. These are the second Detroit and third Colorado highest scoring clubs in the NHL. Only Ottawa averages more goals a game than these two clubs. Tanguay, McLean, LaPerriere have been thrown together to make a line that has been so productive for the Avalanche.
Ian LaPerriere appeared to get his stick on that shot from Lyles at the point. And Joe Quenneville gets the response he was looking for.
I was going to say, if you're a coach, you would love the way your club responded.
Ian LaPerriere with that last goal. Yesterday in practice, he was working on tips right in front of the net, and you see it paid off there.
Personal best 15th goal for LaPerriere.
And the big thing is this crowd is an anti-Detroit crowd. This is the big rivalry. They want to come here. They want to be in this game. Detroit shut them down right off the bat. Now the Avalanche brought them right back into the game.
Lyles and Tanguay assists on LaPerriere's 15th at 1:35, so 46 seconds after the icebreaker from Detroit. The Avalanche answer right back. Steve Yzerman on the ice, along with Franzen, as the puck is sent in. And there's Lebda moving up deep as the Red Wings move their offense. Here's a chance. Maltby took a whack at it, and it didn't get through, and Loxonen tries to clear it. And there's Marek Svatos, number 40, the rookie sensation in Colorado with 28 goals. Patrice Brisebois behind the net. So it'll be interesting to see how Svatos handles this great matchup against the arch rivals.
Joe Quenneville yelling from the bench to make sure his guys pick up the man in the slot that's open offensively. Detroit has had a couple of great chances out in front where nobody was covering him.
Steve Yzerman on the ice with Mark Mowers and Thomas Holmstrom as the Avalanche cycle deep, and there's Lyles, who assisted on the goal, lost the handle, and the puck comes out to center.
Joe Quenneville was telling us yesterday, when Lyles is skating, moving up, getting involved, that's when he is at his best. He is one of the best young offensive defensemen in the game.
Here's Shanahan, who will turn 37 on Monday, trying to drive to the net, broken up, and an outlet pass on the right side, cut off by Datsuk. And we'll be monitoring the shift time of Nick Lidstrom on this game. He's out there now because Joe Sakic and Milan Hajduk are on the ice for the Avalanche, and that's a matchup that Mike Babcock will continue to look for.
We're gonna be looking at Blake and Lidstrom, and I can almost guarantee you it'll be about an hour that these two guys are going to play combined.
Watch Burnett behind the net. He's so effective. He's drawn a penalty here. Andrew Burnett, who sets up a lot of offense from behind the opposing net. And the first penalty of the game will go against the Red Wings.
We talked about it in the open. To me, this has been the NHL's most important rivalry. Would I say that it has brought out the best in what a hockey game is supposed to be? Detroit has won 3 Stanley Cups. The Avalanche have won 2 Stanley Cups. You look at clubs that have played each other, they have played 5 times in the playoffs. 3 times the winner of that series went on to win the Stanley Cup. For a lot of years, there was a lot of animosity. That part has slowed down, settled down, but it is still, to me, the best hockey in the NHL.
Holding call against Shanahan. Here's McLean with the line to the net. And Legacy down to make the stop. A lot of extra time yesterday in Colorado practice on the power play after a 1-for-10 game in Chicago Thursday night and a 4-2 loss that snapped an 8-game win streak.
And it was 2 5-on-3s that were the big problem.
Here's McLean loose as he was poaching just outside the Detroit line. Number 53, Brett McLean, who once was coached by Mike Babcock, who called him Bretzky, as he had some great numbers as a youngster.
Well, you look at the Detroit Red Wings getting some opportunities here on the shorthanded penalty kill. Here's one here by Cleary. But they are so aggressive on their penalty kill that they force turnovers, and you can see they've done that in this kill so far.
You are not going to find 2 better skating clubs than the Avalanche and the Detroit Red Wings.
Here's Hajduk working in on that side, broken up by Lilia. He tries to clear it, and Lyles will hold the zone. John Michael Lyles and Brisebois deployed at the point. Sakic in chase, but Matthew Schneider will dispatch the puck the length of the ice. 40 seconds remaining in the Colorado power play.
You've got 2 clubs right now whose defensive court are very much involved in the offense. 2 teams whose coaches tell them to jump up in the play. So you're going to see exactly what Cammy talked about. A lot of quick plays, a lot of plays where the defense become that extra player.
Sakic tried to barge through. He has been held off the score sheet in the last 9 games. No goals for Joe Sakic, so you know he's due. He's 1 away from passing Guy Lafleur on the all-time NHL list. Brisebois, now Brett Clark at the point. His shot knocked down along the way by the steady Chris Chelios, but he couldn't clear. Shanahan now back on the ice. And the Avalanche with just 1 shot on the power play.
And I thought for Detroit, they did a great job of taking away any consistent flow the Avalanche tried to get in the offensive zone. They were breaking up the plays. They were jumping down the ice. Really a good job by Detroit.
Here's the rookie Brad Richardson, just his 10th NHL game. A centering pass was broken up, and out breaks Detroit. Thomas Holmstrom, who's had a big year. I was surprised the Swedish Olympic team did not add Holmstrom, who's such a critical guy on the Red Wings offense.
And it may be he's one of those Swedish players whose game is better adjusted to the National Hockey League. He gets in front of the net, and he does a great job screening the goaltender, taking away any sort of vision the goaltender may have.
Brad Richardson testing Legacy, who makes the stop. We're tied at 1.
Next Saturday at 2 Eastern, the NHL is on NBC.
Bob here with famous gourmet TV chef Dave Lieberman enjoying Quiznos Steakhouse beef dip sub.
It's great, Bob.
It's stacked with tender roast beef, melted Swiss cheese, and served with pan-roasted au jus, all for just $2.99.
No way, it's only $2.99.
Yep.
Sure, right, Bob. And next you're going to tell me Santa Claus is real.
Huh?
The everyday real deal value menu with our steakhouse beef dip sub, now just $2.99. Quiznos, toasty.
Do you believe anything is possible? I do. I work at Earthlink.
I believe internet good can defeat internet evil.
A world without spyware, viruses, or online identity theft.
I believe in a place where our information can be safe.
I won't stop fighting until we get there.
We work at Earthlink.
And we're making unbelievable things happen every day.
It's time to start believing. Call now and get a great deal on Earthlink High Speed. Earthlink, we revolve around you.
Ted Ferguson, Bud Light Daredevil.
Today for a Bud Light, I'll attempt an incredibly difficult stunt. Tighter on the wrist.
I will eat lunch with my girlfriend and not glance over at a table of hot girls. Not even once.
I could get swordfish, which is nice. But they've got ahi, and then they've got this thing called this Brazilian
Hey,
filet.
time!
Bud Light. Just breathe, Ted. Just breathe.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
How's it going?
A look at the latest and greatest, the hottest rides of the new year, showcased by the best drivers in the world. The International Auto Show, Sunday 1 Eastern, NBC.
There's Colorado assistant Tony Granato behind the bench. Sister Cami Granato inside the glass.
Well, it's funny. I'm not really inside the glass today. I'm actually on the Colorado bench. I'm about 3 feet from my brother. But nice thing is here, his little sister's got the mic.
You get the last word today, Cami.
That's it.
There's Lang over the line. He's checked and back counters Colorado. Milan Hayduk trying to hook up with Brunette. Milan Hayduk, who has scored 100 goals here at the Pepsi Center, but not scoring with the frequency we're used to seeing from that Avalanche star.
Well, talking to Lidstrom yesterday, he said the guy to watch out for is Hayduk.
Guys, you look at the last line we saw. That when the Sakic line was out there, normally Detroit would try to match up with that Datsuk line, having Draper on the ice, and Joe Quenville paid attention. He has the last change. He threw Sakic's line against Lang to try to get some offensive opportunity.
Franzen Cleary on the ice now with Maltby. Here's Brisebois, former Montreal Canadian, who has certainly enjoyed the change of scenery. Number 71 on defense for the Avalanche. But right now, Red Wings with the puck. Left the shot, and that changed direction on the tip by Cleary wide of the net.
You speak of Brisebois, he talks about how much more comfortable he is here out of the pressure cooker of Montreal. Patrick Roy said exactly the same thing, that it takes its toll on you. It's just so much more comfortable playing in this city than he enjoyed the years of Montreal, but eventually they will take their toll.
And the first sense of bad blood well after the whistle.
And this is interesting because Detroit Red Wings, they are first in the league as far as fewest fights. They have had only 4 all season long. This is a club that really likes to just keep the flow of the game going. Their hockey courage is never questioned, but they just keep it playing. But they have enough guys. Push comes to shove that they'll get involved. This was, earlier, you can see right there, the Avalanche in Detroit for years. This was, if you wanted to see hockey that was played, like they say, the old-fashioned hockey, this was it. Old-time hockey that's between these two clubs. There were brawls, there was fight, there was... Scotty Bowman was always saying the bench was too short. One time when the Avalanche went to Detroit, apparently they had painted the dressing room with the Avalanche. There were just things going back and forth between these two clubs, and I think this is a good call by the referee, no call. Because guys just kind of feeling each other out, not used to playing hockey here at noon, so maybe a little cranky, didn't get your sleep.
Chris Chelios yesterday, who was right in the middle of that, no surprise, was a little concerned about handling his spaghetti and steak at 7 a.m. But that was what was on the menu, as it always is before a game. Wally a shot. There's Holmstrom poked in front, as he usually is, and he'll make David Abersher's life miserable this afternoon. Number 96 for the Red Wings. The captain Yzerman back in his own zone, and he swings it out to center.
It'd be interesting to watch David Abisher play around Holmstrom. He said to us yesterday that he does not go up and down to try to look over or under Holmstrom. He will shift from side to side. He does not want to move his pads up and down. He wants to look around Holmstrom, who does such a good job. Holmstrom's best year has been 20 goals. He has already got 16 for the Detroit Red Wings. And you're right, I think a lot of people were surprised that he wasn't on that Swedish club. You look at scoring in the league and you can see right off the bat, Detroit, Colorado goal in the first minutes of this hockey game. Ottawa, clearly that #1 club offensively. But in the Western Conference, these two clubs have done a great job, because the Western Conference right now is better defensively.
You joined us late, Datsuk, at 49 seconds. LaPerriere answering at 1:35. And it's a 1-1 game. That's just the second face-off won by the Avalanche in this first period, as McLean beat Draper, who's usually tough in the face-off circle. Here's McLean with the shot right on Legacy. Mentioned Brett McLean, who they called Bretsky as a kid. An interesting story that he played in the East Coast League with the Johnstown Chiefs, and if that rings a bell, that's the Slapshot team, and he said they used to run the movie in the dressing room on a pretty steady loop. And that's where he started, low in the minors, and he worked his way up by doing the details like winning face-offs to get noticed, to get elevated, and to keep his career going. And now he's become a key man on this Avalanche team.
Brett McLean was not drafted. He signed it as a free agent with Calgary. 4 different times he has signed with clubs as a free agent. He is a kind of guy that has become he's gone from a 4th-line player with the Avalanche now on a very important line. Not just the fact that they're scoring goals, they're good defensively. Playing with Tangate and Barrier, 2 guys having tremendous years.
Here's the Sakic line out. Robert Lang on the ice. No Draper this time. Although Lidstrom was out against Sakic. And here come the Red Wings. Lidstrom, and a great stop there by Abisher as Nick Lidstrom set up Franzen.
There is that defenseman jumping up into the play. Nicholas Lindstrom, last game against Columbus, now a 4-0 win, he had 31 minutes of ice time. You're going to see on the left side, Lindstrom is going to come through back. Now he's got the puck. And again, he's having such a great year. 33 assists, 42 points for Nicholas Lindstrom. You know, and he plays so many minutes, and who's that guy jumping up in the play? Nicholas Lindstrom. He is so talented.
When you look at Lidstrom and how talented he is, he not only is offensive, but he plays matched up against the top players on the other team, and he's doing that tonight against the Sakic line.
I think if you were to take a consensus amongst coaches in the league, Nicholas Lindstrom would either be 1 or 2 as far as defensemen and maybe most important players for their club. He plays all the time. He is a non-stop force.
Here's Heinold in, and a glove stop by Legacy. Dan Heinold drives the net. Remember, last time that line was out, there were sparks flying, and there are again as Heinold crashes the net after the initial shot.
This is what you want from a 4th line. A lot of times we'll talk about 1st line, 2nd line, 3rd line, 4th line, and people will confuse that with what you're saying is like, oh, that's the skill of each line. No, it is actually a definition. Your 4th line, you're going to get anywhere between 6 to 10 minutes of hockey. Your job is to go out and try to bang. You're out there to try to wear down, tire down, get under the skin of, draw a penalty from the other team.
Sakic wins the face-off. There's Blake sending it around behind the net. Chris Chelios will turn 44 next week to Jason Williams, and a nice pass up to Robert Lang. But the Red Wings can't enter the zone.
Interesting talking to Chelios yesterday. No thoughts of retiring. Absolutely none. And he will do whatever it has to keep playing this game. Coach tells him, stay away from offense, which Babcock did this year, and you're just going to kill penalties. That's fine with me, Coach.
But one of the most interesting things he said yesterday is the Red Wings now converge around the net, and Avalanche with a stop on Lang. But Chris Chelios says there won't be life after hockey because there always will be hockey in his career. He's a lifer, Jason Williams testing Avalanche, who's been sharp after the early Red Wing goal.
Between my 2 phone bills, it's probably about $60 a month.
About $150.
Probably $100 a month.
With Vonage, you get unlimited calls to anywhere in the U.S. and Canada, and all the cool features you could ever want are included. And it's just $24.99 a month. Call 1-800-972-4866 and get your first month free. This offer is also available online and at these fine retailers. Vonage, leading the internet phone revolution.
Hospital? We kind of need the S.
your friend. He's cute.
Life is good when you're around. Nothing can bring you down.
Chevy, America's brand, supports America's best. The Olympic Winter Games, only on the networks of NBC.
Thursday.
You're going to prep them for surgery.
Open up to an all-new My Name is Earl.
I'm out.
There won't be a dry eye in the house.
Time for your drops.
No.
You're going to make me wrestle you, aren't you?
Yes.
Then it's The Office with Steve Carell, winner of a Golden Globe.
Ah, I'm just sorry that I threw that thing out.
All-new comedy Thursday on NBC.
Coach Joe Quenneville of the Colorado Avalanche during that break was yelling at his team to make sure they pick up the guy in the high slot. That's 4 shots that Detroit's had in the high slot. You can't give a dangerous team like that an opening, so look for Colorado to close that gap down.
Prime scoring chance, Cammie, on that last sequence for Jason Williams. Abisher's made a couple of sharp stops off Williams already in this first period.
When Joe Quenneville was with the Avalanche the first time around, he was an assistant coach for a club that won the Stanley Cup. This is his second game as head coach of this same Detroit Avalanche club, and he knows the intensity of the rivalry. He was there for that first year.
Of course, Joe Quenneville, also a former Colorado Rocky. There's a lead pass on the left side. Yzerman swooping in. He's now taking a turn on the wing with Datsuk and Shanahan. They play give and go. In front. And a big stop there. Schneider had jumped in that time as Detroit keeps releasing their defensemen and joining the offense.
5 shots from that danger zone. Great read. 2 great reads by David Abisher on good, solid moves by Detroit with that puck control offense that you keep hearing about. It's not just a coming up the zone with the ice with the puck. It's in the zone control.
Matthew Schneider with 13 goals already this season from the blue line, but Abisher's been resilient after the early Red Wing goal. Now Franzen trying to work loose. He's getting attention from Brad Richardson. Brisebois trying to help out as Detroit presses the issue now with under 8 minutes remaining in the opening period. Franzen works the boards. One of the many Swedes on this explosive Detroit team, and now it's Draper. Chris Draper works in front off the side of the net. So Mike Babcock's gone back to a grind line with Draper, Franzen, and Maltby, and yet they are pressing the attack.
This is a deep puck control club. You're not just looking at 1 or 2 players that control the puck. The defensemen are swooping down through the zone on that play. Everyone in Detroit can carry the puck, can move it, has good hands.
When you look at Detroit, we talked to Coach Joe Quenneville from Colorado yesterday, and he said that they're the best by far puck control team in the league. So it's frustrating when you're Colorado. You've got to play good, solid defense, and you can see Detroit getting tons of opportunities in the offensive zone, especially in the last 5 minutes.
It's a very mature defensive game that you have to play against Detroit. You can't start running around worrying about 1 turnover because they're going to happen against Detroit. You have to be smart. You have to hold your position and be aggressive when the time is right.
Jason Williams continues to look dangerous, and Rob Blake stepped in and took Williams down.
That was the right time to be aggressive. He saw the man had just lost the puck for a second. Blake moves in, moves him off the puck, moves the puck out of the zone.
Well, that pressure by the Red Wings, 6 defensive zone turnovers for the Avalanche so far in the first period.
And they're going to force you know that, so you have to have good support behind. You cannot cheat and leave the zone. If the Avalanche have done one thing well this period, they have not left the zone before the puck.
Holmstrom bodied in front of the Red Wing bench. It's flipped in by Mark Mowers, who draws back in for a second consecutive game because Henrik Zetterberg is not in the Red Wing lineup. Zetterberg with a hip flexor problem, and they're trying to make sure he is ready for back-to-back games against Central Division rival Nashville coming up on Monday and Tuesday. Zetterberg did take the pregame skate.
It's a couple of games. Detroit just 3 points ahead of Nashville. A tough stretch of games for both of these clubs.
Under 5.5 minutes remaining in a well-paced opening period here in Denver. Chelios ahead to Datsuk. That puck whistled by the ear of Yzerman and into the Colorado zone.
And talking to Blake, Sack, Lidstrom, Shanahan, Chelios yesterday, the one resounding idea was, yeah, this was a nasty, hard-fought series. But the part that made it so great, this was the best hockey you were going to play all year.
She has beautiful eyes, your daughter. If your husband doesn't do exactly as I ask, I will kill you and your children.
This bank's security is about to be breached by the man who designed it. This February,
I want to know why you're doing this, and I want to know now!
they can make him steal.
I've done everything you want. Where's my family?
But he'll make them pay.
Change of plans.
You get the money when I get my family.
Firewall, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, February 10th.
Man, what's gotten into people lately?
Introducing new Triple Threat. It fuels like a power bar and tastes like a candy bar. One bite and you'll feel like you can take on anything. Be great.
It's far better to spend 15 seconds looking at this now than in 15 years wishing you had. Retirement, loans, insurance. AIG.
Is that your new Sprint phone?
Uh-huh. With Sprint's new fair and flexible plans, no one can tell me what to do. I can talk when and how I want. It's my little way of sticking it to the man.
But you are the man.
I know.
So you're sticking it to yourself.
Maybe.
Sprint's new fair and flexible plans with no huge overages or roaming charges. You control your plan. It doesn't control you. Plans start at just $29.99 a month. Sprint. Yes, you can.
One is a son of Texas, the other, south side of Chicago. They have one thing in common: ice. World champion Shawnee Davis, world champion Chad Hedrick. Combined, they've shattered 5 world records. Part of America's best team ever. The Olympics, starting February 10th on NBC.
This was earlier this morning when Henrik Zetterberg took the skate. Wayne Gretzky says Zetterberg now is among the elite players in the National Hockey League. It is too bad he's not ready to go today.
But his natural position is at center ice. They put him with Datsuk on left wing because they've got Lang, they've got Draper, and Zetterberg is the best player along the board. He's better than Lang, he's better than Datsuk along the wall. He adapts easier to playing the wing than the other defensemen, other centermen, pardon me.
Detroit's got its grind line back out. Bronson with Maltby and Draper against the Colorado fourth line that's been throwing the weight around in this opening period. Heinold, Bugner, and McCormick, and they'll peel off and head to the bench on a change.
One thing for these coaches, we talk about the players loving this kind of atmosphere. The coaches love this kind of atmosphere. It tests you. How are you coaching? How are you preparing your hockey club? Are they ready? Have you set them up the best, give them the best possible chance to win this hockey game?
Lang, Williams, Samuelson now on the ice. Samuelson, the hero when these teams met for the first time this year. It was 7-3 Detroit, and Samuelson, 37, had 2 goals, 2 assists, and he was +4 in the game as that puck deflects off the netting up above David Abisher.
And you look at the Detroit Red Wings and the Swedish players on this hockey club, 4 of which are going to the Olympics. You talked about Samuelson right there. Babcock said yesterday that when they rate their club, it's always Zetterberg, Samuelson amongst the top 3 or 4 forwards consistently for his team.
And Jason Williams. He kind of challenges because the conventional wisdom would be, well, you know, Shanahan, Yzerman, but this year it's been the younger players, and Samuelson and Williams have really worked their way as key men in the lineup. Yzerman put it in the slot, but could not find an open man. Here's McLean on the right side, a chance, and LaPerriere was cut off there by Schneider. And Cammie, you noted that LaPerriere's got a lot of jump in this game.
He's bringing energy for this Colorado team, and that's the type of player he is. He's provided a lot of offense for them this year as well, but every time he comes to the bench, he's talking to the other team, trying to get under their skin, and that's just the type of energy he brings. He's an asset to the Colorado Avalanche.
Talking to LaPerriere yesterday, really has savored the opportunity to be more offensive here in Colorado, playing in a strict defensive system in LA, and he said that was my job from the day before. All I did was focus on checking. Here, he can be more offensive, and he's having a personal best season.
15 goals, 17 assists, 32 points now, all career highs for LaPerriere, and we are just coming up on that 50-game mark of an 82-game schedule.
3 minutes to go, first period. Here's a puck in through traffic. Mark Mowers took the shot, and Thomas Holmstrom in front of the net where he always causes such havoc.
We talked specifically to Abisher yesterday about Holmstrom, and you're going to see right in front of the net. Now watch and see Holmstrom. What Abisher is trying to do is stay square. Right here for a goaltender, you completely lose the puck. It's coming through too many legs, but on the far side, it's a quick little tip by Holmstrom. Good work by the Red Wings, getting people in front, clearing in front on the far side. Holmstrom comes in and just tucks it home.
Thomas Holmstrom had a pair of goals in Detroit's last game, seems to score in bunches. Earlier this year, he had 7 goals in a 4-game span, and he has provided the Red Wings with the lead here late in the first period. And Mark Mowers getting his chance with Zetterberg out of the lineup, helping out on the goal. And here the Red Wings back in. Draper couldn't pull the trigger. He was hooked. Penalty upcoming. And Manny Legacy has gone to the bench for an extra attacker. So the Red Wings take the lead. And now they're going to get a man advantage as Antti Laaksonen.
This was going to be a great setup between a great power play clubs, both power play clubs, and great penalty killing.
Well, you guys, Peter and Chris talked about Holmstrom, how good he is in front. That was one of the things that Mike Babcock told me, is he's so impressed with the way he's played in front, and he's been so successful both on the power play and 5-on-5, and you see that there, and you got to watch him on the power play.
From the draw, huge stop by Abisher, flashing the leather on a shot by Nick Lidstrom.
Lidstrom asked, what's the key to your power play? As you watch Lidstrom just up over here, and the number one thing that he said right off the bat was that we shoot. We don't look for that great extra play. So many clubs overpass. They will try to find the perfect tuck play, the perfect backdoor play. They will just shoot the puck, and everybody drives to the net.
Here come the Wings inside the line. That's a great move and a big stop. Abisher's blocked. Oh, did you see that? What a stop by David Abisher. An enormous stop by the Swiss goaltender.
What puck movement. What great move. Great move by Datsuk as he just came through, set it all up.
He's dangling again, trying to set it up. That was broken up as Strastinch watches Datsuk. Back up top in the slot. Samuelsson shot. And that doesn't get through. Finally cleared to relieve the intense Red Wing pressure.
And the Red Wings have had 6 or 8 great setups right in that slot area. And Abisher has read the play and moved real well. That last one, that was just an acrobatic save by David Abisher.
And now Schneider, crowd chanting Abby as they cheer on the goaltender who has been outstanding on this Red Wing power play. Lidstrom and Schneider, so dangerous, scores! That shot changed direction, and Abisher had no chance.
Chris, we just talked about it. The idea is they don't look for that extra pass. Schneider is going to slide across. He gets it, and he unloads. He did not look for things down low. You got people in front again, but Schneider just got the puck towards the net. And you see the Red Wings. You see 3 Red Wing jerseys right down in front of David Abisher, who was trying to find it through the the pile of people in front. Nice pass by Lidstrom, but again, the idea they don't fool around. An unlucky break for the Avalanche as it bounces off the defenseman's skate in past David Abisher.
Hard to tell if Shanahan or Yzerman.
No, I think it went right off the skate.
I think you're right. Off an Avalanche
goal.
So suddenly, the Red Wings have a 2-goal cushion as the #1 power play in the NHL scores on its first opportunity of the game.
What that instantly does, Chris, in a hockey game, it takes away a little of that edge that you want to play with. If you're the Avalanche, you cannot afford to take penalties against a power play that is working as well as the Red Wings.
Half-minute remaining in the opening period. Brisebois back as both teams make changes. Brisebois sends it deep. Milan Hayduk, he's been quiet so far in this first period, along with Joe Sakic, and that work by the forechecking of Sakic and Hayduk will draw Detroit power penalty.
Machelio's upset with it. But for the Avalanche, you have got to, in a hockey game, sometimes just match strength with strength. Detroit got a power play to make this a 2-goal lead. Now the Avalanche, a quick 12 seconds to end the first period, but then they will come back out with 1:42 on fresh ice of power play time.
It's a new way of tracking power plays. Red Wings #1 in percentage. And if you break it down, they score on the power play every 6 minutes, 36 seconds. So Chelios in the box. 2 goals, 1:48 seconds apart here late in the opening period.
Around the league, if you're looking at an average number, it's about 9.5 minutes. So they are scoring once every 3 power plays.
16 Detroit Red Wings shots in the opening period. Thomas Holmstrom a goal. And then the shot by Schneider that gets through.
The one thing about the Avalanche, they've shown you all season long, they have score goals.
That's the end of the first period. The score, Detroit 3, Colorado 1. Let's join Bill Clement for our Dodge intermission report.
And for the Avalanche, they need that spark. And Joe Quenneville has gone back to the big line. To start this period, he's got Tanguay, Sakic, Hayduk reunited for this power play.
Well, Peter, you mentioned the look of the Avs when they come back to the bench. They have some serious looks on their face. And you know this team wants to come back in this game. It's a tough team, Detroit. They have the puck the whole time. It's a frustrating team. They possess the puck. Colorado's used to having the puck themselves, so they have to stay patient.
So the Avalanche start the second period on the power play. They have the 6th-ranked power play in the National Hockey League. And there's Hayduk, who has 9 goals with the man advantage, 9 of his 13 on the year. Rob Blake takes a look across the ice, and there is Hayduk with Tanguay, a giveaway. Draper can't clear it out, a sprawling save by Lyles to hold the zone. And now they'll try and corral the puck. Draper pounding Hayduk, and Detroit sends it down.
Great pressure by the Red Wings right there. They would not allow the Avalanche to make those smooth passes to try to set something. They were on them every step of the way.
5th best penalty kill in the National Hockey League, the Detroit Red Wings. And they have killed off 12 straight. Here's Dan Cleary, an assist in the first period and a short-handed shot on Abisher. So not the jump that the Colorado Avalanche wanted in this early going.
And power plays with the goal can pick you up. Penalty killers, when you stop them, can also pick your club up.
Franzen just leaned on Tanguay, knocked him off balance. And again, the Red Wings send it down and change their penalty-killing alignment. Brisebois looked for a long pass, and Spatos chases after it, so there's no icing. It comes back to the point. Here's Brisebois loading it, scores! And the Avalanche do get that ignition here in the early part of the second period.
And it's the second power play unit, and it's going to be Andrew Burnett, I believe, who tips this puck in behind the Legacy. Puck comes across, and Andrew Brunette. Cammy and I were at practice yesterday watching the Avalanche, and who was the one guy tipping pucks? It was Andrew Brunette. He worked and worked. He must have taken about 100 shots where he was working and tipping at him, and right there, it appears though it pays off for the Avalanche. If he doesn't touch it, he certainly got in the way, and Legacy couldn't see it.
13th of the year for Brunette. Power play goal for the Avalanche.
Peter, we talked about how we watched Brunette in practice, and, you know, we said some guys just have that eye coordination and some guys don't. And Andrew Brunette, he tipped so many pucks. They were coming at all different ranges on the ice, low and high, and you see right there the talent he has with the eye hand, getting his team back in the game.
And one of the great things about tips and about tipping the puck in front of them, some people say some people just have a knack. Well, the guy that tipped 100 pucks suddenly finds the knack.
Datsuk out with Yzerman after the goal by Colorado. Mike Babcock loads up his big line as the captain gets a shift with Datsuk and Shanahan.
And what I mean by that is it's amazing how the guys that score the goals are the guys that stay out there and shoot an extra 100, 200 pucks. It is, you know, when you work at something, you make it part of your routine, you're going to score goals.
Datsuk weaving in again. How about Datsuk on the ice? Schneider pinching in to try and hold the zone. Well, I was impressed yesterday, and it answered a couple of questions for me about Marek Spatos. Every day, an extra 20 minutes, 30 minutes after the rest of his teammates have gone to the dressing room. He's out there firing more pucks on his Slovak teammate, Peter Budaj, and it's no wonder the kid's got 28 goals in his rookie season.
He's got a passion for it, but he's also got the work. The work ethic is there to make yourself from a 20 to a 30 to maybe a 40, 50 goal scorer.
There's young Lebda, who grew up idolizing Chris Chelios, and there they are, paired together now on the back line for Detroit. Lebda drops it deep into the Colorado zone. Brisebois flips it out, and on it is LaPerriere. He looks for Tanguay, give and go. LaPerriere tried to get the pass to McLean, and that was broken up by Cleary. At the point, Brett Clark is shot through traffic just off target.
The Avalanche defense are doing a nice job now. We saw Brisebois get the puck, shoot Clark, get it and shoot, not looking for that extra play.
There was a rare sojourn by Andreas Lilja offensively into the zone, and Abisher holds on that shot from Nick Lidstrom.
Well, the mood when the Avalanche got to the bench at the beginning of this period is completely different than what it is right now. That goal by Andrew Brunette seemed to pick them up, and they've got a little bit of a run here offensively. The momentum has changed.
Cammy, when you're talking about the mood, what do you see that makes you say that? What is it? How does it shift?
A lot more talk on the bench. When the guys first got on the bench for Colorado, there was no talking. Everybody was pretty serious. Now you're hearing a lot of talk. You can see the energy. Danny Heino has a big hit. Brunette gets a goal, and now the momentum, like I said, has changed.
Maltby shoveling the backhand in on Abisher. Well, we talked about Marek Spatos and his extra time in practice, and now he's become one of the most dangerous scorers in the NHL.
2005, 2006 may be the best rookie crop in the last 20 years. When you look at the top goal scorers in the league, Crosby, Ovechkin, Spatos, the one big thing for Spatos is he averages probably 6 minutes, 8 minutes less than those two guys per game.
Here's Franzen behind the net. Schneider moving right up, but he parked himself on the lip of the goal crease. And again, the Detroit defense becoming very active. Schneider and Woolley, two good offensive defensemen out there right now for the Red Wings.
And for the Avalanche, what you have to do right now is be smart. You cannot force your will on the Red Wings. They will not change their game plan. They will keep the puck, they will get the puck, they will move it and pass it. You have to be smart and use the emotion, that extra energy you've got from that power play goal.
Brunette scored it. He's back out with Hejduk. Nifty move there. And he just got tugged a little bit off the puck as Detroit sends it down. Abisher swept it around. Shanahan from a bad angle. That puck was blocked by Carlos Strastich, playing in his 400th consecutive game. He's the NHL Ironman. Hejduk with a shot that didn't miss by much.
He's also leads the league in blocked shots. And Trust me, fans, those things do not go hand in hand.
Oh, it really is amazing. Scratch itch number 3. And that Ironman streak, it's the longest by a defenseman in 20 years since Kevin Lowe of the Edmonton Oilers back in the early to mid-80s.
A lot of times you'll see a guy have a long streak, but they're, number one, they're usually forwards. And number two, they're usually guys that maybe don't do a lot of the physical work. Well, Scratch is a hard-nosed, shot-blocking defenseman.
Another thing about Scratch, and he's the unsung hero for Colorado. He does all the little things for the team. Doesn't really do the things that you notice, but he's always matched up against the top line. Tonight, he's been matched up against the Datsuk line. Along with Brett Clark, who took that shot. Clark, an interesting story in that he might have started here at the outset of the season as the 7th, 8th, 9th defenseman. And now he's out against the big guys every time as that shot is handled by Legacy. And he holds on. You're watching the NHL on NBC. So will be captain for Team Canada at the Olympic Games in Torino. And he was the MVP in Salt Lake City, a pair of goals in the gold medal game.
And led Canada their first gold medal in 50 years. That last shot with the members of the Detroit Red Wings at the time, that the U.S. got a silver medal, Canada the gold. And again, Chelios going to be on the Olympic team, looking to be captain of the U.S. team.
And you saw Joe Sakic wears 91 internationally. The Canadian team has retired number 19 in honor of Steve Yzerman. Here's Spatos, and a shot scooped up easily by Legacy. 19, a special number when you consider how many men wear it. At least on the Canadian team, there's Shane Doan, Brad Richards, Joe Sakic, of course, Joe Thornton, but Yzerman honored, and Joe Sakic agrees with that, and that's why his international number is 91.
One of the stories that we heard from Joe Sakic yesterday is about stick handling in the basement as a kid. We asked him about his shot. He said, no, when I was younger, I was down in the basement stick handling for hours, and that was the thing he loved to do.
Well, and Cappy, the reason he did it, he was being punished every time he did something bad. His dad set him down there for half an hour. And all his dad had to hear the tap, tap, tap back and forth, or otherwise, no, Joe, that doesn't count. You got to keep it going for half an hour. He said, you know, it wasn't all the time, but it was a lot.
Got a penalty on the play. Paul Dvorsky assessing the call.
Just a quick final note about Steve Yzerman. The idea was that when they were talking about selecting the Canadian club, he could have made it very difficult. He's having not a great season, but Wayne Gretzky said he is going to be on the club no matter what. He bowed out, and he let some of the younger players be on that Canadian club.
Another Red Wing power play. Lidstrom shot blocked by LaPerriere. Walking in is Datsuk, and now he'll curl, take another look, finds Lidstrom, who has been the shooter of late for this Detroit power play. Now Samuelson brings it out. Michael Samuelson sizes things up. Holmstrom in front of the net, and he's trying to give Abisher the worst view in the house. Here's Williams, a blast, and Abisher saw it and makes the stop. And not many will fire it harder than Jason Williams, a forward who comes back and plays the point on the Red Wing power play.
One of the things for the Detroit Red Wings, they use the forward back on the point. You've got Schneider, you've got Nicholas Lidstrom. But Babcock likes to shift things up. I was amazed yesterday. He's talked about it. Zetterberg out of the lineup. He actually enjoys that because he gets to use different players in different roles. He said, you know, come playoff time, we are going to have to run into adversity, whether it be this series we're going to lose this guy or this series we're going to lose that guy. And we have to be able to adjust.
Find a way to overcome hardship. You know you're going to get it in the postseason. So be playoff ready and steeled for the postseason with games like this. Here's Yzerman. He gets it to Shanahan, and again Lidstrom, who often will play all 2 minutes of a power play. This Red Wing power play even better on the road than it is at home. A pass by Lang on the other side. Now Schneider in deep. Yzerman sweeps it around. So much talent on both the A and second power play units for the Red Wing. And now Hayduk is out. He's got a man open on the other side. That's high note in back for Hayduk. And grabbed by Lang, and that's going to be a Detroit penalty. with 23 seconds left in the Buchner minor. And now the Red Wings draw a 2-minute minor.
We saw the Red Wings do a great job of being aggressive, forcing the play against the Avalanche. Right here, the same thing for the Avalanche as Hayduk drives towards the net. When the Avalanche lost Steve Konowalchuk early in the season to a wrist injury that's going to keep him out for the whole year, Joe Quenneville had to find that fourth guy up front to kill penalties, and he's gone with Milan Hayduk.
So the Avalanche go to the power play looking for the equalizer. Joe Sakic's on the ice. Schneider sends it ahead. Jason Woolley drops it off. And here's Datsuk. 4-on-4 for the moment, and just a few seconds left in Buchner's penalty. And now the Avalanche have the man advantage.
And Datsuk is going to be the leader of this club, but he is not a vocal leader yet. His mentor is a player not playing, Igor Larionov, former superstar in the international world of hockey. Of course, played for the Detroit Red Wings, but he is helping to bring him along.
Tanguay trying to crash over the line, drops it off. Tanguay with an assist. And he has 56 points on the year to lead the Avalanche. Maltby short-handed with Draper on the backhand in front. Maltby took a whack at it, then the backhand off the side of the net. And the Avalanche power play on its heels because of two great veteran penalty killers, Maltby and Draper.
They've been around for all three of the Detroit Red Wing Cups. And when you want to stuff a particular power play, you're going to go with Draper and Maltby.
And another season penalty killer on the ice, Chris Chelios. But now Dan Cleary is out. Cleary trying to keep it down in the Colorado zone. And now just 30 seconds remaining in what has not been a dangerous power play yet. Brunette, who has the second period goal. Now it was Fatos and McLean, but it's turned back. Peter, you mentioned Igor Larionov, and I spoke with him last week and asked him about Datsuk's progress, and he said, I challenged him to be the go-to guy, and he's now assuming that role as the go-to guy every night for the Red Wings. I think we've seen that this year.
He has been far more consistent. It is not easy to do. It's easy to do when things are going well, but when you have to bring it out every night, and some nights you don't have it, it is a challenge.
There we had three guys, nobody low that time. Hey, Hedgie, that shot off the rush, good play. And you had him beat it, it was on net. You can catch him going the wrong way.
Joe Quenneville, Mike Forrest today, the coach of the Avalanche, with some encouragement for Milan Hayduk. Here's Robert Lang, put it in the slot. Brisebois to cut it off. Yesterday, Joe Quenneville talked about Detroit better than any team at playing keep away and Cammy. We really saw an illustration of that on the last Avalanche power play.
Well, they can be a frustrating team, Detroit, but when Colorado, I mean, they're their second best power play in the West right now. They couldn't set up there. That just shows you how skilled Detroit is, how aggressive they are on their penalty kill, and they controlled the puck there on the penalty kill. It's a big opportunity for the Avs to get back in the game there, but that's a turning point for Detroit with the big kill.
It was great listening also, Cammy, to Joe Quenneville. A team will take on the personality of a coach. The coach is going to panic. The coach is going to get excited at the wrong times. Your team will feel that, and they will feel the unusable pressure of that situation, and it will be counterproductive. So a coach has got to be in control.
Again, we're monitoring Nick Lidstrom today on our star clock. He is out because Joe Sakic's on the ice, scratched in shin deep, and he lost possession of the puck. Datsuk outlets to the captain, Yzerman, back to Datsuk. Penalty upcoming against Colorado. And out of the net, legacy for the extra attacker as it is played by the Avalanche. So Joe Quenneville's team's going to be down a man once again with 8:31 to go in the second.
Interesting talking to Lidstrom yesterday about his association with Scotty Bowman. So long he played under Bowman, and you know, so many players have said how difficult it was playing with Scotty Bowman, and Lidstrom said, you know, I really enjoyed it. I loved it. He just kind of left me alone. We talked to Babcock later. I said, you know, what do you talk to about Lidstrom? Do you say anything to him? No, I just ask him how he's feeling, put him back on the ice. When you're that good, coaches aren't going to talk to you. They got nothing to say to you, but it's a nice play.
Apparently he made an errant pass in practice about a week ago, and Babcock savored the opportunity to actually critique his star defenseman for fun. Here's Lang whipping the shot. Abisher's got that.
Well, Nicholas Lidstrom from the point here, he's just such an exciting player to watch on the power play. He moves along the ice better than any defenseman I've seen. He gets the puck and passes along the half-boards with his player, but he'll move into another space to try to get that penalty killer to get himself freed open, and watch how powerful he is on the point here.
And there he is, that little lateral movement, trying to change the lanes for shooting. And he has been shooting more in recent games, and he has 31 power play points with one in this game.
And he has said his ice time has gone up, his play has improved since the unfortunate situation with Jari Fischer, who has an enlarged heart, whose career really is in jeopardy right now. But you look at for Lidstrom, he has been getting more ice time. He will stay on the power play for almost a whole 2 minutes.
And once again, a Detroit power play has been abbreviated by a penalty, and Robert Lang is off.
We talked to Lidstrom yesterday, and one of the things that I've always found fascinating is the idea that the Swedish players will almost to a man all head home when their careers are over. Lidstrom now, all of his kids have been born here in the States. They go to school here, but you will see very few players from Sweden who do not go back to Sweden when their career is over. I asked him why. I said, I think a lot of it has to do with family. They're a very family-oriented country, and it's just a very comfortable place to live.
An interference call against Robert Lang, 4-on-4, and Sakic out with Spatos, so the rookie, who has 28 goals, he's been quiet so far, an assist in this game, gets a chance with Sakic, 4-on-4 against Draper and Williams. Breeze block taken to the end boards by Williams. One of the youngsters getting more of a chance. Great stop, Abisher, as Williams set up that suit. What a nice feed by Jason Williams.
That's a big save for the bench for the Avalanche. He just stopped Abisher, Detroit's best scorer.
Here's Spatos down the ice. Lidstrom's back. Spatos a shot, and Legacy has the answer. But at the other end, a key save by Abisher to keep this a one-goal game.
Spatos is one of those guys, when you talk to defensemen, now this is Lidstrom. Lidstrom doesn't make the same mistake that other defensemen do. Somehow, as we watch Datsuk's shot right here, great save by Abisher, he has read the puck well. But Spatos is one of those players that will make you look at the puck. And once you do, he is so quick, he will adjust and give himself a better scoring angle.
Draper and McLean on the draw, won by the Avalanche, and here's the shot. And it's tied in Denver.
Tremendous turnaround in this period for the Avalanche. We talked about staying calm, your coach. They fed off the energy of their coach. Just, okay, gentlemen, let's get ourselves back in this game. The Avalanche driving towards the net. Both clubs' defensemen have done a good job of getting the puck on net. Detroit grabbed a break in the first period as a puck went in off an Avalanche player. Detroit grabs it. The Avalanche got a break here. It seems to go in off Chelios.
Well, Peter, Rob Blake on that play, he didn't have a lot of room to make that shot. There was pressure coming from the penalty kill. He got the puck quickly, but he got that shot off so fast. It was screened, ends up putting his team back in to tie it here. It's a big, big goal for Rob Blake.
8th of the year. Here's the giveaway. Draper's shot blocked by John Michael Lyles. So 2 second-period goals. The Avalanche have got back. Let's give Brett McLean credit for winning that face-off. And McLean now down, and that has drawn this scrum in front of the prone Avalanche players. The Red Wings and Avalanche mosh around, and McLean at the bottom of the mosh pit.
The key about the goal for the Avalanche, it came 4-on-4. There was not a power play goal, so now the Avalanche will have a 36-second power play, and we'll see what happens here as Maltby hit McLean, and Maltby going off. The Avalanche will have a 5-on-3 for 36 seconds.
Kelly Sutherland sending Maltby off on this hit, as it looked like McLean had his head hit the ledge.
This is what cost the Avalanche the other night in Chicago. It was a 1-1 game at the end of the first period. They had a minute plus. 5-on-3. Chicago killed it off. Went on to win that game 4-2.
So McLean collects himself on the bench after being a pivotal man in the tying goal. Lyles and McLean assisting on Blake's 8th at 13:23, and here we go. 5-on-3 for 36 seconds as the Avalanche try to break the tie.
And you talk about some experienced penalty killers. You've got Chelios, Lister, Draper for the Detroit Red Wings, as the Avalanche right now is Sakic. They have got their guys. This is power versus power right now.
Sakic, Hayduk, Svatos up front, Tanguay, and Blake. And here's Hayduk sweeping wide. Back up top, Sakic and Blake, who has the break pass. That one hits traffic in front. Sakic back to Hayduk, and he'll swing it to Svatos. 12 seconds left. 5-on-3. Joe Sakic trying to end a goal-scoring drought. Tanguay swept it across. Off a stick wide. A chance for Chelios to clear. Blake knocked it down. Holds the zone. An Avalanche player broke a stick. Hayduk, new lumber from the bench. But Draper has a chance to backhand it down the ice. And now Lang scampering after it. And it's Blake taking the puck away. A headman pass off the stick of McLean. Chelios turns, and he'll clear.
And on that last play, Alex Tanguay struggled to the bench for the Colorado Avalanche. He is sitting on the end of the bench.
.45 seconds left of power play time. Here's Lyles, fanned on it. And Cleary's up with it, and 3 Red Wings at center. And Franzen proceeds to puck into the zone, putting the play offside.
Alex Tanguay, leading scorer for the Colorado Avalanche, 26 years old now. Seems to have taken that final step to being a close to superstar.
Talked to him yesterday, and he mentioned that. He said the prime of an NHL career is age 26 to 33. And he just turned 26, and he wants to make a bigger impression as a key member of this leadership group in Colorado. And there you saw he was kind of in an awkward position when he took the hit.
Because by the time he got to the bench, he was definitely doubled over. Matt Sokolowski, athletic trainer for the Avalanche, looking at him.
Now Clark on the point with Brisebois. Time winding down. In the power play, Colorado. Joe Sakic, watched by Schneider. That puck gobbled up by Lillian. He'll fire it around past Brisebois, down into Colorado ice. Maltby's penalty has expired. He returns to the ice. So a big kill for Detroit, and now a penalty coming up against Colorado. So the momentum shifts. The Avalanche had their chance to break the tie, and now Detroit will. A power play when we come back to Denver. There's Lidstrom taking a shot. Didn't get through the traffic. Lidstrom broke his stick. He goes to the bench. And walking in Williams, the backhand shoveled in front. Tried to hook up with Holmstrom. Big play by Lidstrom, who got back from the bench, new stick to hold the zone, and that shot is blocked by Scratchtich. And again, Carlos Scratchtich, number 3, leading the NHL in blocked shots. Another penalty upcoming as that shot whistled through and hit the traffic. Holmstrom, really a force in front. And now, Colorado, are they going to touch the puck? Good play here. LaPerriere burned a couple more seconds, but it's going to be a 5-on-3 for Detroit for 1:18.
This is a great time to say how well this game has changed. We're looking at a game right now that is 3-3. We're looking at a game that it maybe in years past you're looking at 1-1. The referees would have stopped making calls. We have seen 5-on-3s for both teams now. We've seen 6 goals so far. We're not even through the second period. This is a league that 2 years ago averaged 5.1 goals per game. And now we've got 6 in this one, and the clubs are fired up, and the fans are fired up.
Laxinen with the hook on Datsuk. Here's Lidstrom, tees it up. Look at Holmstrom, parked. And Abe Abisher is able to see the puck and make the stop.
He is allowed to stand as close as he wants to the blue. And the blue is the crease. So when he backs up, his whole area of reference for Holmstrom is that blue crease. He cannot come inside of that because the referees will call him.
The immovable object, number 96, is Blake can't clear. Kept in by Schneider. There's Robert Lang. Quarterbacking it. Lidstrom always option A. Schneider down low in front. What a pretty goal. 5-on-3. Robert Lang gives Detroit another lead.
Teams will always tell you that the best penalty power plays are the power plays with those great hands. Great hockey hands. 4 guys touch this puck. 1, 2, 3, and across the line. Now Holmstrom does a nice job. He's also a key there. He's tying up a man right in front of David Abisher. Lang stick on the ice. Ready to get it. He's almost behind the goal line with his foot. You got Holmstrom right there. Now watch him. He ties up a man, He clears that lane so that pass can come across. Lang right on the goal line, tucks it upstairs.
You're right. Lang started the play. He finishes it. And all 5 guys on the ice play a role, 4 with passes, Holmstrom being the disturber. And so after squandering a 2-goal lead, the Red Wings are back in front, and that goal was 5-on-3. So the Red Wings still on the power play.
Again, the momentum that was picked up by the Avalanche now is back in Detroit's favor. We have seen it swing back and forth about 6 times so far in this game.
An assist for Datsuk. He has 9 points in his last 4 games. Lang from Datsuk and Schneider. And here's Clark trying to get it out. Sakic chopped at it against Schneider. It comes down in his skates, and the Avalanche do get it to center. Quickly back on side and back in. Woolley for Shanahan, and he rolls it to Abisher.
When we talk about the rivalry between Colorado and Detroit, there's so much intensity down here on the benches, and right now both teams are so energetic. On the power play for Detroit, the bench for Detroit is on their feet. Normally they're sitting down, resting in between shifts, but this team is excited, and this team is watching to try to get another goal here on the power play.
They've already peppered 27 shots at David Abisher on the afternoon. And we're just under 2 minutes to go in the second period, and there's Datsuk quarterbacking off the wall. Schneider shot, and again the traffic heavy in front, and Abisher gets a little whack in on Holmstrom as he is knocked down.
Talking to Rob Blake yesterday, talking about what Holmstrom does. What you have to do is front him. In days, what I mean by that is in days past, with Holmstrom, you would get behind him and you would try to slingshot, cross-check him out of in front of the net. Well, now you can't do that, so you have to try and get in front of him and try to take away the shot as best you can.
When we talked to Mike Babcock about the power play, first thing he said was key net presence. Thomas Holmstrom, you consider all the talent on the ice, and it's Holmstrom that really is the catalyst. Here's Lidstrom, a bad angle shot through the blue paint. Samuelson shot, and he didn't get all of that as the stick broke in half, and Blake up to Sakic. Working against Schneider. LaPerriere hops up. A short-handed chance. And LaPerriere couldn't get a good shot away. Power play over Detroit. #1 in the NHL. Now 2 for 5 on the afternoon. 11 of their shots out of 28 have come with the man advantage.
And you look at the difference in this hockey game right now. Detroit scored on their 5-on-3. The Avalanche did not capitalize on their 5-on-3.
And as you mentioned, second consecutive game now for the Avalanche that A 5-on-3 missed opportunity might come back to haunt them as they failed to score in Chicago on Thursday. And that halted their 8-game win streak as the Blackhawks prevailed 4-2. Final minute of the second period as they scrum along the boards. Puck still loose. Big Franzen, a tough guy to move. Number 39. The Dodge intermission report. Still ahead. Bill Clement, Ray Ferraro, and Eddie Olczyk. Maltby to the point. Lilia gets a shot on goal, so each of the Red Wing blue liners have fired a shot on Abisher today. Again, our Dodge intermission report coming up. Bill, Ray, and Ed take a closer look at New York Ranger goaltender Henrik Lundqvist, and they'll have highlights and analysis from today's NHL action coming up on our Dodge intermission report.
It's very interesting for me to meet Lidstrom, sort of a one-on-one situation yesterday as Tanguay returns to the Colorado Avalanche. You'd heard all the things about what a gentleman that he is. That it was just such a pleasure to talk with him for half an hour about his take on this rivalry. That's not necessarily his style, but he has played through all the wild games between these two clubs.
Clock winds down in the second. Here's Chelios up for Samuelson, neatly off his skate, pass intercepted. And that's going to do it. It was a very interesting second frame here in Denver.
And you look at Detroit, you've got Carolina's 18-0-0. The next best third period lead club is Detroit, 21.
2 periods of play, no shots for Joe Sakic, Milan Hajduk, and Alex Tanguay.
They have to turn it up here in the third period. Detroit, we talked about how well they play in the third period with the lead. You need your forwards now to step up. The defense for the Avalanche have 4 points so far in this game.
Well, Peter, you talked about picking up the pace, and that's exactly what the coaching staff of Colorado told the Avalanche. They have to pick up their pace. They have to be aggressive in the pursuit of the puck because they don't have it a lot. And when they do get it, they got to make something of their plays.
There's Franzen spinning out behind the Avalanche net. One of the reasons Joe Sakic's been held shotless in the game. He's had 14 shifts, and 14 shifts Nick Lidstrom's been up against him.
And one of the big keys is that Lidstrom doesn't always have to come off the bench. Sometimes he'll be on the ice for 35, 40 seconds. Sakic will then come on the ice, but he will stay on. His conditioning is so good that he doesn't just have to come off the bench every time he sees Sakic come on the ice.
There's Tanguay behind the net, fighting for the puck with Lilia, with support from LaPerriere. Tanguay went down. And the Red Wings leave the zone, and Shanahan will roll it down. Here's Pavel Datsyuk. He has a pair of points in this game, a goal and an assist. So Datsyuk with 12 points in his last 6 games. Brett McLean, LaPerriere, and the glove stop by Manny Legacy.
Ian LaPerriere coming over from Los Angeles, free agent, doing such a sensational job for the Avalanche through the first half of the season. We talked about LaPerriere, and the coaching staff would say he's our MVP because of his consistency. Never mind the fact he's having a career year offensively, consistently helping kill penalties, do the little things for the Avalanche.
He's been the beneficiary of playing with a great setup man like Alex Tanguay, who's been criticized or at least urged to shoot more by the Avalanche coaching staff. When I mentioned that to LaPerriere yesterday, he says, that's his problem. I kind of like it the way it is because I'm getting more shots.
Yeah, but for Alex Tanguay, his game has matured to the point now where he does pick the right spot to shoot the puck.
Spatos getting a shift along with Laaksonen and Sakic, and now Sakic goes to the bench. So maybe a double shift situation for Joe Sakic here in the third period for Joe Quenneville.
Be interesting to see how, if this game speeds up, if it slows down, how does this chess match work at this time?
Rob Blake and Nick Lidstrom jockeying up the minutes in this game. Here's Lang in front, and through the skates of Jason Williams, and Spatos is able to one-hand it out.
We talked about that they may play an hour. They played 36 minutes between them in the first 2 periods. No!
Lidstrom also with 4 shots in the game so far. Here's Mark Powers, who helped generate one of the Detroit goals in the opening period. Lefto taken to the boards by Bugner. Holmstrom pushes it ahead, and Detroit gets it deep. Here's Buchner, and he's met by Lepta, the fourth line out for Colorado, but it's really going to come down to whether the big offensive threats for Colorado can get on track in the third.
And when you're, this is a Detroit club whose record actually is better on the road. Mike Babcock's club, he says, when we get a lead, then I don't have to worry about matching. When I have a lead, then the other club has to play with all of their top guys, and all I have to do is then match because I know who is going to come up onto the ice.
Now, Chris Draper had an interesting analogy today. He talked about it being a bit more like football now. Guys go out with offensive responsibilities, and then players are out in defensive responsibilities. Here's Draper moving in. And there was a chance there, but check that Franzen, but Draper on the ice. They do come up into the zone, but they're not going to make any defensive mistakes.
And Draper, a couple seasons ago, he won the Selke Award for the best defensive forward in the game. He had 24 goals. But Babcock was saying his role changed so much early when there were so many penalties to kill, when teams are averaging 12, 14 power plays against them. Game after game, Draper was having to kill so many power plays, but he never got a chance to get himself untracked offensively.
Here's Datsuk with a chance, busting in. Great pass in front. It's a goal. Steve Yzerman. Oh, a pretty setup by Datsuk. So David Abisher comes up big. That's a key save to keep this a one-goal game. There's Datsuk again. He keeps generating chances. Williams kicked it ahead. Loose puck. And LaPerriere tries to send away Tanguay, and Lilia right there to stop Tanguay before he got going. Williams deep in the zone. He puts it in front, just out of the reach of Robert Lang. Very few odd man rushes in this game. 4 for Detroit, just 1 for the Avalanche.
Very well played game, very well goaltended game. David Abisher is playing well. And again, just another one of the reasons why you like the game now. A goaltender can play well, and still it could be an exciting 4-3 hockey game.
Now Sakic on the ice, and not only does he have to deal with Lidstrom, but Chelios as well. Here's Chelios using his body for positioning to keep it away from Joe Sakic. We'll see Vananen back in as he'll flip it high. Vananen leads the Avalanche in plus-minus at +10 as that backhand missed the target. Williams broken up by Laxinen. He scored a highlight reel backhand goal in Chicago 2 nights ago. Here's Vananen, a shot coolly gloved by Manny Legacy.
Look at Abisher's, and the way that he is moving tonight, this afternoon, pardon me, he is playing so well, coming across. Stevie Yzerman makes a great play, but Abisher stuck with it. You see the angle that Abisher had on Stevie Yzerman. He wasn't leaning to his right, as you would have expected. Now on the play right here, Abisher goes right, comes back, and is solid to the shot.
Mike Babcock talking yesterday about how Datsuk is driven to be one of, if not the best player in the National Hockey League, and he really has taken another step this year on his way to his career best. The one thing that is still hounding him, at least a question mark, is he has yet to score in the last 2 Stanley Cup playoff years, and a key man like Datsuk is going to have to change that. Cody McCormick in deep as his 4th line for Colorado tries to shift the momentum.
And you talked about Babcock and Datsuk, and the one thing that Babcock likes to do, he was telling us yesterday, is use all his assets. He'll call Scotty Bowman. He'll talk to former coach of the Detroit Red Wings, Dave Lewis, who now works for the franchise, Igor Lariana. He will use whoever he can to help him build a better club. Your main role is going to be killing penalties and be that strong defensive guy.
And Peter, that's a new role for Chris Chelios. He's used to playing the offensive side of the game. This year he's playing tons of minutes on the penalty kill. And one thing Nicholas Lidstrom said about him yesterday, he's been the warrior for them on the penalty kill. He's one of the reasons why they're doing so well. He's so aggressive in his play, and you can see that here and watch him in the next few minutes on the PK.
Chelios, 3-time Norris Trophy winner, is the best defenseman in the NHL. The last 3 times that award has been handed out. It has gone to Lidstrom. They're both out there same time. Lyles' shot knocked down by Chelios, preventing the shot through. It comes back out to Lyles, 2 points on the game. Blake's got a goal from that point position. His shot does not get through. Not only do you have 6 Norris trophies on the back line on this penalty kill for Detroit, you've got the Selke Trophy winner as the top defensive player, Chris Draper, out as well.
They are, we've talked about it all game long. They are aggressive. They go to the puck. If you come out with control, they will back up.
Here's Lyles. Hooked down. He had a lead in the net. And now Chelios jumps on him. Penalty coming up, and it's going to be another 5-on-3 for Colorado. 53 seconds left in the Franzen penalty, as Lyles has words for his countryman and U.S. Olympic teammate Chris Chelios.
Number 11, 2 minutes for Lucky.
When Lyles walked through the middle, it looked like there must have been a little bit of miscommunication because he walked through so freely. It seemed like it just opened up for him.
Well, John Michael Lyles is so good at jumping in the play, especially on a power play. He finds the back door, he finds a space, he jumps in, and he's had success there all year.
And Cammy, he has 2 points in the game, so he has now eclipsed last year's rookie total of 34 points. And Joe Quenneville has used his timeout here to go over his 5-on-3 plan. We'll remind you to log on to NBCSports.com for much more on the NHL, and check out Bill Clement's look at what the future may hold for Penguins owner and superstar Mario Lemieux. It's all at NBCSports.com.
In the NHL, you only get 1 timeout per game. So you want to use them wisely, whether it's the start of the game and your club comes out poorly or at a key moment like this. Detroit scoring the 5-on-3. But for the Colorado Avalanche, they have already missed 1 5-on-3 opportunity. This is the key moment in this game.
And the difference in the game is a 5-on-3 goal by Detroit. Sakic, Svatos, Hayduk up front. Eric Svatos with 28 goals. Here's Blake and Sakic trying to swing it deep. Tanguay there on the right side. Sakic manning the point. Lidstrom took the puck away from Tanguay and fired it down. Half minute left, 5-on-3. Svatos checked by Chelios. Lidstrom now trying to come up with it against Tanguay. Chelios, maybe a chance to clear. Svatos steps into him. Back to Sakic. Give and go. Back to Tanguay. In front. Svatos stop. Rebound. And Legacy came across. Tanguay couldn't finish it. Blake, Sakic blocked. And the ricochet up to center. Oh, they got their chance. Back in Blake. It's now 5-on-4. Franzen back into the fray for Detroit. Sakic from behind the net lost the handle, and it ends up at the side of the net, frozen by Manny Legacy.
One of those great moments in hockey is when everything works perfectly. The other time is when hockey players are just working their tail off, as Detroit was right here. You're scrambling, you're falling down, you're getting knocked down, you're knocking people down. It is an ugly part of the game, but you win with it. Great job by Detroit right there to just try to keep the puck to the outside. The Avalanche have so many guys that with 1 shot can tie it up. They just kept the puck on the outside.
Face-off won by LaPerriere. 50 seconds left to power play time. Brisebois looks across. Brett McLean's been credited with 2 assists on the afternoon. 53 now with 12 points in his last 11 games. He's done a nice job of filling in for the injured Pierre Turgeon. Lyles and Brisebois at the point. There's the shot. McLean with Brunette in front. They tried to get the tip by Brunette again as they executed in the second period.
It's not how he started the season, Brunette, the guy that was in front of net. But as the season has gone along, he has slowly matured into being that guy that goes right to the front of the net.
15 seconds left. Good pass. Brisebois to Brunette. The Draper there. Couldn't clear. Lyles with some room. Here's the shot right on. And the rebound was kicked out past McLean. And Detroit clears. So once again, the Avalanche failed to convert 5-on-3. The power play comes up empty despite some great scoring chances. It remains 4-3 Detroit.
Maybe the best sequence that Legacy has had in this game came on that last power play for the Avalanche.
That stop-off spot goes huge. And Colorado now 1 for 7 on the power play in the game. 7 shots. They've been outshot 31-18 on the afternoon. Jason Woolley, the Michigan State product, played baseball there as well. He's on the ice. There's Datsuk. Watched by Highnote. It's an interesting matchup right now. Datsuk's line out against Dan Highnote. Laxinen. Highnote takes the puck away, and Antti Laxinen starts out.
And Cammy, are we seeing anything of a shortened bench for the Avalanche trying to get their more offense out there shift after shift?
Well, Peter, you see right now Joe Sakic's line is out there, and he's actually out with Bugner here, but maybe they're putting him out there to try to get some offense going. You know how offensive Sakic can be.
Another double shift situation as Sakic is in the middle with Cody McCormick and Bob Bugner on the flanks. Laying on the puck, tried to center, and that's gobbled up by Blake, and away he goes. Blake leads the rush in. Pass on the right side, Bugner digs after it. Bob Bugner, normally a defenseman, early part of the year wasn't playing at all, converted now to the wing on the fourth line where he plays a robust game.
This is where that versatility of Detroit's game comes in. They are now getting the puck, and they are dumping it into the zone. They are making quick changes. The one thing you don't want to do at this altitude is get yourself tired out late in the game because you will not re-catch your wind. Once you lose it, once you lose that breath that you need to play shift after shift, you're not going to get it back.
The great thing about Detroit coming into this game schedule-wise, they hadn't played since Wednesday, and the previous game was last Saturday afternoon. Here's Malmo busting it in front. Oh, a chance for Dan Cleary, and he missed the target. That might have been it. And now McLean back. Brett McLean drops it deep, goes after it. Legacy swings it around to the far side.
On that last rush by Detroit, you could hear Joe Quenneville yelling from the bench for Colorado, telling his defense to stay up. He's telling them to close the gap to the blue line and not give this skilled team for Detroit any room to make plays.
Boy, that was a huge chance for the Red Wings to add to their lead. Dan Cleary just failed to capitalize.
Abisher has made a great save. Detroit missed a great chance. The Avalanche still in this game because of the save and the missed chance.
Draper in on the forecheck, but up with the puck comes Andrew Burnett. Down the left side, he'll swing it deep. Hayduke in pursuit of the puck. Red Wings have it, and Shanahan to Franzen. He couldn't come up with it. Blake there had to wait for teammates to get on side, and Datsuk's away for Detroit. Teammates changing behind him, so a solo mission by Pavel Datsuk. Now Yzerman after it, the captain, pounding Blake. Shanahan prevented the clearing attempt, and now Blake gets it out to center ice. There's young Lebda out on the ice in a key situation with 7 minutes to go, paired with the veteran Chris Chelios, who told us yesterday Lebda, rookie, is pretty cool. In fact, he'll even laugh off his mistakes. There's Sack again, and that shot deflecting to the corner. I guess it's good to be that loose, but you don't want to hear the coach, or you don't want the coach to see you laughing up on the bench when you've made a mistake.
But again, you're seeing Babcock used all of his guys in this game, not just the experience, because that's why Detroit is going to get better and better. They're giving key experience moments to these young guys.
What I found interesting yesterday, he says everybody gets in the lineup, and then when the game starts, you're playing for ice time. But everybody's playing, so he must like the way they performed today. Lang tried to put it in front, and Highnote knocked it away from Jason Williams. Robert Lang's goal, 5-on-3, late in the second period, is still the difference.
And this gets back to that idea of how he said Zetterberg being out is not a negative, it's a positive. Right now in this game, he's got a chance to see his players in different positions, different opportunities of defensive role, offensive role.
Here's Stretch, he tried to work in, knocked back out. Brett McLean on the ice, 53 for the Avalanche. Couple of points in the game. He has looked dangerous. Back to get it, Schneider with Lilia. That combination not normally out. Mark Mowers sends it deep.
3 great passes and the puck's into the zone. Detroit, nice job, defense, Pass at the middleman out of the zone.
Now Rob Blake ahead. That pass failed to hook up with LaPerriere. It slides down the ice. And it's an icing call against Colorado, trailing Detroit. The NHL on NBC.
It's going to be Holmstrom in front on the 5-on-3 right here. Watch him. Down low. He is going to get punished. He's going to get pushed around, but he's going to stay with him. He doesn't get a point, but that is the goal that is the difference right now in this hockey game.
Face-off won by the Red Wings, and a bouncing puck in on Avalanche. It's been a low shot third period. That's just the third shot if it's recorded by Detroit, and only 4 for the Avalanche.
You look at the tough line day. Holmstrom, a goal on a nice play across. Stevie Yzerman, another assist. Moyer's an assist. The key for Yzerman is he is now moved past by 2. Gordie Howe. That's 1,051 assists for Steve Yzerman. Of course, Gordie Howe, 1,049, the great Detroit Red Wing.
Well, that was a magical moment in Detroit 9 days ago. Yzerman was jolted by Sammy Kapanen at the end of a shift. Mike Babcock left him out there. Yzerman ran one of the Philly defensemen, took out the puck the length of the ice, and set up Robert Lang to surpass Mr. Hockey on the all-time assist list. It was magical. Puck out of play. 4:45 left. Red Wings by 1.
Automatic pinch, both sides were coming, joining. Outside D, pick up the puck in the neutral. Forwards, we got an automatic pinch here.
He's telling his defenseman, don't even hesitate. You're jumping up in the play. Breezeball, the far side, will be jumping into the play. Clark on the short side will be coming up on the weak side to jump into the play. And the forwards can't expect the defenseman to be backing up. Everything is push, push, push right now for the Avalanche.
Tanguay tried a sharp angle shot there. Yesterday, Joe Quenneville explained that if the defense doesn't join the rush or pinch like that, you're always going to be outnumbered in the offensive zone.
And you leave a huge gap between the defenseman and the forwards, and that's what Detroit will use to move that puck.
Here's LaPerriere deep in Detroit territory. It'll be kept in at the line. Lyle's shot doesn't get through. Here's Tanguay in front of the plane. Legacy down, and he couldn't finish. But a penalty is coming up against Detroit as Williams touches the puck. And with just under 4 minutes to go, there will be a Colorado power play, and the Avalanche came that close to tying it.
We talked about the great rivalry between these two clubs. The one thing that you also have to always remember, you're going to get great games. We're looking at a 4-3 hockey game where the momentum has swung back and forth. Detroit scored right away in the first minute. Avalanche made it 1-1. Detroit got a couple more. It's been a game that's gone back and forth. The emotions in the building for the fans have been right there on the edge of their seat all game long.
A one-goal game, Detroit with 2 power play goals. The Avalanche with 1, and they look for the equalizer here. And quickly the Red Wings send it down the ice. Lyles and Blake with Sakic up front, along with Brunette. And it will be Spatos, not Hejduk, on this power play to start. And there's the captain behind the net, watched by both Chelios and Lidstrom. Dug free by Brunette, but Chelios continues to hound them. Now Spatos gets it to the point. Blake shot right on, and the rebound. Up it goes, shot just missed. Sakic with a great chance there.
He batted it out of midair. It came across, it was up above the ice, and he just missed far side.
Joe Sakic looking for his first in 10 games. Lyles will bring them back in. Minute left in the power play. Shot handled by Legacy. Hejduk and Lyles losing their balance deep in Detroit ice. And they'll have to recharge this power play with Breezeball.
And it was a second power play unit that got the lone power play goal for the Avalanche earlier.
Hejduk sweeping in. Legacy down, and another stop on the rebound. Legacy robbing Tanguay and Hejduk. So Manny Legacy stepping up now under the intense heat.
Colorado is putting tremendous pressure on Detroit right now, and you can see the urgency that they're playing with to try to get this game tied up.
Breezeball look for the tip with Tanguay on the right side. Great pull by Brisebois in front. Hayden Tanguay, and Legacy's got it with Brett McLean battling in front. Manny Legacy's best sequence of the afternoon.
He had done it earlier on a power play for the Avalanche, came up with the big saves. Legacy right here, 17-5 on the season. This was a guy that a lot of people thought was a backup goaltender. This has been his first year when he has really accepted the idea that he is the #1 guy. Sack bats it out of midair.
And now David Avalanche going to the bench. 2:05 on the clock. 12 seconds left of the power play, so they'll go 6-on-4.
We are rolling in the dice here right now, trying to take advantage. It takes the man about 4 or 5 seconds to get out of the box into the play. So you're looking at about a 20-second sequence here where the Avalanche will have that 2-man advantage.
Big face-off. Joe Sakic, Chris Draper. From the scrum, puck dropped unfairly. They'll do it again. A couple of seconds ticked off, and let's see if they put those back on the clock. Chris Draper, so valuable, one of the best defensive players in the NHL. Once sold by the Winnipeg Jets to Detroit for $1. Figure that out.
Future considerations were a buy.
That's the best buy in National Hockey League history. And now Draper with the task of winning this draw. Tying up Sakic, it comes back to Blake. Again, the net empty, and Draper swept it past Blake down the ice. And that will do it for the power play. And now does Colorado try and halt play to get Avalanche back, or are they going to handle this with 1:45 to go, a man short, or with the net empty for the extra attacker?
Now you could send a player over to the bench and have Avalanche skate back into the net. You don't have to wait for a whistle.
Lyles watched by Shanahan. 6 skaters for Colorado. This is a little unconventional. You don't usually lift the goaltender with this much time. Here's Lyles trying to bust in. He's knocked down. And the puck is turned over, and Chelios has it. And he'll just scoop it down into the zone. Didn't want to risk an icing.
I like it. I like the idea you're going for. Detroit has killed the penalties beautifully in today's game. They make it so tough. You have got to give your team a chance.
Now in the final minute, and at this point you would have the goaltender out. Brisebois fires it back in. Can the Avalanche tie it in the final minute of regulation time? They'll jam along the boards and get a face-off in the Detroit zone.
It's interesting watching the coaches just at how intense they are as they watch each little thing. Who's on the ice? Who looks tired? Who's ready? Who do I want out there for the last critical 48 seconds of this hockey game? And I'll tell you, these are the moments players will tell you they want to be on this. This is the best time to be a hockey player. The game is on the line, and you're out there.
Here's Hayden putting it to the side of the net. Hayden, Tanguay, Brett McLean on the ice. That centering pass broken up by Lidstrom. Half-minute remaining. Clark kept it in. The cross-ice pass. Brisebois. Down low it goes. Spatos trying to put it in front. And the defenseman sprawls. And it's underneath. Is that Matthew Schneider? Coming up with the defensive play. And won't be a chance to clear. And he does get it out. And now the Avalanche have to really hustle. A dozen seconds left. Detroit looking for their 16th road win. They'd have the best road record in the NHL if they can kill it off here. Lidstrom off the boards and out. And this one's done, and the Red Wings do hold on for a 4-3 win in Denver.
It is the best rivalry in hockey for a reason. The reason, the kind of game that we saw here today. Detroit on a 5-on-3 power play goal, win the game.
So the Avalanche fought back to tie, but then a 5-on-3 goal by Robert Lang. Manny Legacy great in the third. Detroit wins it 4-3. For Peter McNabb and Kevin Granato, so long from Denver.